Man, it's been awesome, man. I mean, Coach V and the staff he brought in, they from the jump, wanted to build a different culture. Wanted to change things. Of course, we had a rough season last year, and the year before wasn't a winning season either. So, they're starting to build from the ground up, basically, of a culture of winning.
You talk about not a lot of love this year in the preseason polls. You guys use that as motivation and try to prove people wrong?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, of course, it's not our job, worry about the predictions and things like that. We just have to control what we can control first and foremost, and that's working hard. Working on getting better all throughout the spring and summer, and actually going out and having a much better year than last year.
Is there one thing in particular that needs to change for you guys to turn this thing around?
A sense of urgency, and that's one thing that really has been, one of the I say most important things to change. Since the coaches came in, spring went well, and summer it's even better. It's growing day by day, and it's more like second nature now. So the things with that, it'll help us in meetings. It'll help us learning on the field and off the field, and those are the things that'll just bring us along with everything else to winning.
Uh, there's a lot of top tier running backs in this
Yeah,
conference.
yeah.
Guys like Elijah McGuire, Larry Rose. Just talk about what's it like facing guys like that
Oh,
almost every weekend.
yeah, I mean it's awesome. It's good to always have that competition in our conference. To talk about all over the nation. Everybody. You hear the Leonard Fournettes and things like that, but like you say, a guy like Larry Rose had a lot of yards himself and was All America guy. So things like that. It brings the competition every week. We're not just a throw around conference anymore. But at the same time, we have teams that can throw it around, and we have those good running back, good teams with a good running game.
The Raging Cajuns haven't named Anthony Jennings as a starter, but Homer Ellison quarterback on that team. What would that be like facing a guy who's throwing touchdowns on the SEC level
I mean,
against that
it,
kind of talent?
it definitely raises the Louisiana Lafayette standard. Again, they had a little quarterback struggles last year, so it definitely lets us know that they're trying to get back on track to what they were. And like I said, it just brings even more competition. A guy that was playing at a big school like that in a huge conference like the SEC, it's kind of a sense of welcoming that competitiveness. Looking forward to a good game.
Senior year for you, what are you guys trying to accomplish here?
Of course, well, defense, number one in the Sun Belt, top 10 in the country in total defense. And as a senior, have to go out the right way. Came in on the bowl year, the Independence Bowl my freshman year, and guys like Mia Jalen, Justin Backus, Alex Johnson, the guys like us, we're trying to go out the right way. And then we have Tyler Kane coming back for his 6th year after injury. So it's only right for us to go bowling again. Already.
The defense loses a lot of playmakers this year. What changes have been made to the defense to counteract that?
I mean, guys just step up. We have a lot of guys that are younger, but had significant snaps last year, and even with injuries, we have a lot of young guys that started. A few games at the end of the year. I mean, it's all a process every year. To get better. Whether we have people coming back or if they never even played much at all. We have guys like Justin Backus that came back on the team, and so it helps with senior leadership, and really just a sense of us all grasping the defense better and learning together.
What would you say has been the most significant improvement over the offseason?
Um, a learning curve, for the back end, I could say our last defense out of the 3-5, it really wasn't a big jump, a lot to learn. It was either what you do and who you read. You didn't have many keys. Whether in this defense, Coach Collins kind of challenges you with a lot of different things. We our DBs, from blitzing to different drops, reverse concepts, things like that. So that may be the biggest thing that we went through defensively is learning a new scheme, and it's a totally different scheme. It has different concepts, different things going into it.
The Sun Belt is seemingly filled to the brim with good running backs and good running games. What emphasis in the secondary, at least, has been put on
I mean, as a defense, you'll have your goals. Week to week. A lot of guys like if you say Georgia Southern, they're gonna get their yards. That's what they do. That's what they do. They run the ball. More often than not every play. So guys like those, you wouldn't have a 150-yard rush limit on a game like that. But it'll just be eliminating big plays in the run game, which will be every week. And then I mean, it's just a big challenge that really you have to live up to every week in the Sun Belt.
Last year you all had a pretty good pass defense, but now you lose Trey Callaway. How big of a loss?
Trey was, of course, a heck of a player. Got drafted in the fifth round, and he was a senior, so it was a leadership. He was a veteran. Guys that played a lot like him and Mitch Lane, but I mean, it's just maybe a sense of growing up that everybody has to go through. And I feel like a lot of the young guys really just taking heed to it easily. Our coaches bring a sense of accountability, so it's something that they have to grow into anyways.
With Trey Callaway, you said he was a good leader, so who's kind of stepped up and taken the lead?
Many of us seniors, well, we have three senior DBs. Myself, Justin Backus, and Alex Johnson. Then we have many other guys that have played. Marcus Hubbard. He was a young guy last year, a redshirt freshman, but he played a lot of good football for us. So, guys really just embrace their role, and everybody can be a leader. It's just in depth as much as experience or things that they can bring to the table. Kind of separates the rank of leaders. I can say. Appreciate it.
Trey, I asked Jalen this. Just looking back a little bit, looking at last year, what do you think it was that kind of led to just that long losing streak, just things kind of unraveling as the season went on?
Yeah, I mean, it's never really one thing when something bad like that happens. It was basically a string of disastrous events. Things like regular relationships. Chemistry on and off the field, things like that. I mean, we had coaching woes, things like that. So it was a lot of stuff that actually went into it, and once it caught, it snowballed. A lot of things went on that we couldn't finish games, and it just kept going. But I can't say that it was one thing.
How important is it then with you as a senior and one of the few seniors on the defense specifically to kind of make sure, or do what you can to make sure that that doesn't happen again? There's no snowball effect again, or at least not in a bad way.
Basically, following after the model that the coaches want to bring towards us. It's strictly business from the moment you walk in the room, the moment you walk in the building every day. And a sense of urgency is grown amongst our team, and that 2-11 season is the motivation to never happen again. Seniors, we went from being bowl eligible 2 years in a row, our first 2 years, to having losing seasons the next 2 years. So things like that, we know what it feels like to win. So it's only right that we get back to that feeling.
I guess on that note, then, it's not that unfair for you guys to have been picked at the last place in the preseason poll. But you mentioned motivation. Just how much more does that provide just to be able to show, we're better than maybe last place, or we're better than last year's record?
Yeah, I mean, over the last 2 years, there've been plenty of conference games in particular that we were in the game, just couldn't find a way to finish it. So, things like that. The 2-11 sounds terrible, and it is terrible. So is 4-8 the year before, but there's a lot of games that we lost it in the last 5 or 6 minutes of the game, which in 2 plays, those records could be turned completely opposite around. So things like that, and basically, not having that feeling again. It was turmoil. Nobody likes to lose, especially at this level, and the real competitors. It was probably, it was something I feel like helped a lot of us, because like Jalen stated earlier today, I feel like I can go through a lot of different stuff. I went through 2-11, losing like that, and losing with a group of guys that I really felt like, we had the best chance since I've been at ULM before this year.
But on the flip side, Jalen also mentioned, he told me at least, that he was really excited once he found out Coach Viator was a winner.
Yeah, winner. Yeah.
Was that kind of your reaction when you realized he was going to be your coach?
Yeah, most definitely. It's big time. Now I have a few friends over at McNeese, and talk great about him. I've yet to meet somebody that had anything, negative to say about him. I know he loves football. He stated that the first time he met with us, it's basically his life. You know, he works hard, and I see him working hard. So that's it's not something as if we just hear him talking about it or hear him saying things to us. I see him working. I know he's always on the road or meeting with somebody about trying to help us get something and things like that. So, him having the prestige, the record of himself, it just follows his reputation. It speaks for itself.
You being a local Monroe guy, you've been through, like you said, everything in
Yeah,
this program.
yeah.
What would be, I guess, for you, say the year's over, what would satisfy you? Looking back on your senior year and be like, we accomplished this or I accomplished this. What's kind of a goal that you think you would be content with?
Number one defense in the Sun Belt, top 10 in the nation, bowling. Finish with a ring.
Fair enough.
Only right.
That's right. Big was talking about when he first got the job. He pretty much spent all of December, up at Malone. Some of you guys were kind of in and out at that time
Yeah.
on Christmas break and everything. But he said you guys had some, he had some conversations. You guys did kind of as much talking as you did listening. But what was your initial impression after meeting Coach, and what did you take from some of those meetings?
Initially, like over winter break, guys like me and Tyler Kane, we were in the facility in the weight room and stuff every day over the break, and so yeah, we had a lot of meetings and talks with Coach V about some of everything from other guys on the team to how we do things, certain things like traveling, things like that. But basically, the biggest stuff I got out of everything of talking with Coach V is that he's business oriented, and this is his business. Winning football games. That's all he cares about. That's all he talks about. And he's probably one of the best players coaches I've ever met ever. He asks about how guys are doing. Things about whether it's from class to just at home, things like that. But that lets me know that, like I say, football is that's what he lives for. He lives for this program now. He's with us. This is what he's living for every day.
On defense, y'all lost so much, but last season didn't really go great. Does losing so much kind of help start from scratch? Does that seem almost like a blessing in disguise to y'all?
I wouldn't say a blessing in disguise because every year you have to rebuild somewhere. So, and then the biggest thing this year is of course experience. Like you say, we lost a lot guys like Hunter Kissinger, Mike Johnson, Cody Robinson at linebacker, then Jaron on the front, him and Lorenzo Jackson. We lost two guys in the secondary as well. But I feel like some of the miles that those guys set and as hard as they worked, it just continues to build for those young guys. And then with this coaching staff coming in, they have a sense of urgency, to always do things right. We're held accountable for everything. So I feel like it'll pick up along chemistry, very important. So I feel like things like that will just gel together with the guys that have experience on the defense.
What was last season like just to go through such a rough year like that?
It was rough, especially when you have games like Tulsa, Hawaii, ULL that you're a play away or one stop away or one play making it away to finish the game and win it. A lot of things. It was pretty rough when it was almost a sense like, what can we do? But I look at it as pure motivation, coming from the thought of we can't win for losing. To it'll be all right. We'll get back on top because especially over winter break, a lot of guys after the football season actually watching the film from last year, seeing the mistakes we made, and knowing that if everybody does their job right, things will get back to how it's supposed to be.
What's for the defense? What's the most important thing y'all really need to turn around for this year to be successful?
I say just being ferocious, attacking every game, attacking every play, every scheme, and being confident about it. Play with that swagger again, and everything will shape up for real.
You didn't feel like y'all did that last year?
Oh, at certain times, it was certain games where we were holding up, offense wasn't. And it was other games where we were getting run in the ground, and offense was trying to keep us afloat. So it was a sense of in the gist of the stuff changing every week or every other week that some guys maybe lost their confidence, and then the season wasn't going right anyways. So some people maybe were feel like they were playing for nothing.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Um, you had right off the bat, y'all did, Oklahoma and Auburn in the first month of the season. I mean, how do you kind of feel about playing those games, or would you like to have had a little more, some confidence booster kind of games? How do you feel about that first month?
you. No, if I mean, if you're a competitor, you're a competitor. Those games are the confidence boosters. If you can play with those guys, you can play with anybody. And guys, like myself and all of the other seniors and upperclassmen, we've played teams like that in those same teams over the past few years. So I mean, football is football. Those guys get the rankings and the stars and stuff in high school, but they're just like you. It's nothing spectacular. It's just a bigger program. Prestige. But I mean, in 2012, we competed with Auburn, my redshirt year, things like that. We competed with other, Power Five schools. So I believe those things are the confidence boost. If you can compete with those guys, it gives you a sense that, in conference, it shouldn't be much harder than that.
What do you remember from when you played Auburn? Was it your freshman year, you said?
Redshirt
What
year.
do you remember of the game?
It was hot. It was hot. And that's when they were down the year before they made it to the national championship. Actually, that's when they were down. It was a tough game and they won in overtime. But we're looking to come back basically for revenge as senior guys because they took that one away from us.
I mean, when you're that close, I mean,
Yeah.
it's been a game that we've had circled for a while now.
No, not really, but in the same sense, it's a little umph to it. Just like with OU, you know, after Southern, which we plan to make a statement. Coming off a horrible season, we plan to make a statement, competing with those guys. Not overlooking them at all, because like how we talk about OU and Auburn, they're looking the same way at us. Knocking off a D1A. So after that, competing with Oklahoma, they just finished in the semifinals of the college playoffs. So that's a big time game to compete in.
How important is it to, like you said, make that statement in that first game of the season?
It's very important. It'll give people the sense that we're heading in the right direction. That it won't be the same old like last year and the year before, and that's a confidence booster from the jump. Playing well, no matter who it's against. It's a confidence booster, and finding the things early on that we know we need to work on for the season, and the things to see that we have worked on from spring all the way through summer. Appreciate it.
Hey, sorry, I'm coming in late.
It's okay.
This is repetitive or not, but just wanted to get your early impressions on the new coach, and wondering how aware you were of his background when you saw it.
First impression was well, really, actually, my first impression was through a few high school guys that I know, and I have a godbrother that played at McNeese for Coach Viator. So I heard plenty of great things about him. Never heard anything negative. Never heard anything bad. And he gave me the same vibe when he got here. Our first meeting in December, it was basically me finding out and getting the feeling that he was business oriented from day one.
Were you aware of his win-loss record and stuff like that?
Yeah, I was. I knew he was a high-profile guy. Never had a losing season, and that was a big thing for me, a confidence booster from hearing that he was coming to be our coach.
So even though he's coming from like slightly lower level scholarship wise, it's like smaller program, but
Mhm.
that fact that he's won
Yeah,
is even more important.
winning is winning, and it's hard everywhere. Whether it's JUCO level, D1 AA, no matter the conference, winning is hard. Everywhere, and I wouldn't say winning is based on the talent or the program. I would say it's based on the system. Based on how things are run. You know, uh, the gelling between coaching staff and players.
Um, what about his style and Gibson offense?
Like I say, he's business oriented. It's hard work from the moment you step in the door to the moment you leave. It's all about getting better every day, and we're all held accountable every day.
How does he? Is there a certain way?
Yeah, I mean, for one, guys like myself and Jalen and other seniors, we're those leaders, those guys who've been here. So through us, it's kind of it was all almost a sense of placing us in charge to help get things done. Whether it's spreading the word about things, workouts and everything, and then held accountable by from school to workouts to everything else. Whether it's punishment, or whether it's reward through whatever he can.
There's a lot of unknowns about the defense this year.
What do you mean? Mean like players?
Well, yeah, I mean it's a lot of turnover, right?
Yeah,
A lot of guys.
yeah, yeah. We have a lot of new guys on defense this year, but I will be. We have some guys that have played. Some younger guys that played a lot of football last year, and then we have some new guys from JUCO transfers and some high school guys that are gonna be freshmen. But things are gelling together. Chemistry will help overcome experience, I believe. And though we do have guys that have experience, myself, Justin Backus, Alex Johnson, Roland Jenkins, some guys that have played for years.
I'll let you go. I know it's time's up, I think.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.